I think we'll get started. My name is Ron Foreman. I work at Career Lab as a career counselor. This is a program on navigating the uncertain internship search. And today I am joined by Kelsey Trim. Kelsey, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Trim. I know a lot of you, so thanks for being here, but I'm the International Students Program Coordinator at the college and work with Dean Paloma.
Okay. So Kelsey's going to talk about some important uh, international student specific stuff in a second or two. Um, to get going, we want you just to know at Career Lab that we know this is a very stressful time, confusing time in terms of the job market. It is just uncertain is the key word now that everyone's using because that is what it is. So it's very difficult for organizations to make plans, to make decisions about hiring, to understand. Today is April 21st. Good job by me. And so potential summer needs they might have in June are very difficult for them to forecast right now. Some are doing it, some can't do it, some will be doing it in May. And so as you try to navigate all of that, we're here to help. We're open now and we're open all summer. Sometimes students don't know that. You can make appointments on Handshake. The PCAs, like Ellen, are available as well. If you just email careerlab@brown.edu and ask for PCA help, which is often just a review of resources, critiquing of resumes and cover letters, just getting a student's perspective on the search. They're highly trained and super nice. Okay, so we just want you to know we're around and we're not going anywhere. Okay, Kelsey's going to take it from here.
Okay, so just a quick brush up on the sort of work authorization options that you might consider going into this summer period. So just a reminder that curricular practical training, CPT, is a work authorization for F1 students, and it's an employment that is off campus that has to be an integral or required part of your curriculum or course of study. So that's the main sort of legal aspect, is that it has to be part of your curriculum. And so Brown defines that in two ways. We have the professional and non-professional track. So if you're in computer science, economics, or engineering, those concentrations require internships. So that's the professional track. And the non-professional track, you actually develop an independent study through your internship, and you take an independent study afterwards. And so you earn academic credit in addition to your internship completion. So OISSS, my colleague Kelsey Dennis, different Kelsey, just to emphasize that, they are still working virtually, and they can issue CPT to you, and your new CPT, your new I-20, can be mailed to you. So to get more information about CPT and the application process, the link is on the screen there. It's brown.edu/go/CPT form. So CPT requirements haven't changed too much during this time. So if you're going to be working in the US, even remotely for a non-US company, you are required to use CPT. So that's a reminder about that. And then CPT is recommended and might be required if you're working outside of the US remotely for a US-based employer. For unpaid internships and volunteer opportunities, CPT might not be required. But again, we're going to encourage everyone to talk to an OISSS advisor for more specifics about their opportunity and the specifics related to their employment or volunteership or internship. So if you have questions about CPT, OPT, or if you're an F1 and you're looking, or a J1, sorry, and you're looking into academic training, please book an appointment with Kelsey Dennis in OISSS so that you can review the more specifics related to your employment and your authorization.
Does anybody have any questions for Kelsey about this kind of thing right this second.
Yes, real quickly. I was wondering, you mentioned that you would need a CPT for work to work remotely. Is it you would so do you need an OPT as well? Does that is that the same thing?
No, so OPT is normally used for post completion. So if you're graduating, you'll use your OPT after most of the time. And so we would encourage for a summer internship, most students we encourage to use CPT because normally the internship is related to the curriculum.
Mm.
The OPT, you only get a limited amount of time to use, right? So that's why we encourage CPT so that they can supplement each other.
Mm. I understand. No, because I'm a graduating senior and I applied for my OPT. So I was wondering if, and I'm guessing that I won't be able to get back to the US over the summer. So I was wondering if I were to start something here remotely, would that have to be on my OPT or can I, if it doesn't, you
If you
see?
apply for the OPT, you should be set with that. But if you have more specific questions, I would say email Kelsey Dennis about.
Yes. Cool. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. So um, I'm not going to talk too much about this slide. What employers are doing now, I just refer to it generally. There's a lot of confusion and uncertainty. It is getting better. There's a little bit more optimism about summer hiring, a little bit more. There's going to be a lot of remote work. Students should be, and I'll talk more specifically about this in a minute, students should be offering and pitching the idea of remote work, even to organizations that are not posting anything about remote work. More organizations are going to be willing to accommodate that than ever before. Down here, we've put together a few lists of crowdsourced sites that are trying to keep track of summer opportunities. So they're crowdsourced and take them for what they're worth. Anyway, it's uncertain, but getting better. Ellen, is there a question out there?
Yes, there is. There are two actually. So one
Okay.
question is, where can we get the list?
The list of,
They didn't specify.
okay.
I'm hoping the person that put it in the chat could specify, but there's another question in the meantime.
Okay.
Oh, okay, wait. It says, where can we get the list? And then said, like your link. Because we can't click it. So, you're gonna get the presentation.
Yes. Thank you, Ellen.
We're gonna send you the presentation. So when you have the presentation, you can click on the links.
And if for whatever reason anybody doesn't get the presentation, we typically send it out to everyone who registers for the program. Just email me, ron_foreman@brown.edu, and I'll send you the link.
Yes, perfect. And then the other question is Career Lab changing their policy regarding link and remote/online internships at all?
Yes, so remote internships that, according to the supervisor, satisfy the number of hours are link eligible. So I think that that's what that question is probably about. And even if it is a combination, some remote, some on site, that will be link eligible as well. By the way, the second deadline, just as a reminder, is April 29th. And as always, when you apply for a link award, and you do that through U Funds, you don't have to have the internship completely all set up and confirmed. You can just be a candidate with some documentation from the organization saying you're being considered. It doesn't have to be a complete done deal for you to apply. Ellen,
All
are
right,
there
those are
more?
all the questions we have right now.
Oh, okay. So I want to review just quickly a few. Students are mostly asking us, what should I be doing now? Is this time different than a typical internship search? Yes, it is. And what are a few of the specific things I should be doing in order to increase my chances of finding something? Um, so,
Hi, Ron. We have another question.
okay, good job. By the way, excellent job interrupting.
Okay.
Fire away.
Will the first round of link be released before the next deadline?
Yes. Don't you love it when questions can be answered directly, yes or no?
Perfect.
So that should happen soon, yes. Did you have another one, Ellen?
Nope, that's the only one.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, virtual opportunities are going to be on the rise. They're on the rise currently right this second. And over the next month, you'll see an increase in that. Most of these things are not, some will be, but most are not going to be posted on an easy to find job board like internshipsrus.com. That's not a real thing. Handshake, Brown Connect, internships.com. That is a real thing. Most of them are going to have to be developed, referred, developed through networking. And I'll talk about networking. I know every student loves the topic of networking. It's your all-time favorite subject. But networking is a little easier right now because people are home. So if you see opportunities that are posted, especially Bruno opportunities, I'll highlight those in a second. Bruno opportunities have a Brown connection. When you're looking in Brown Connect, they are the ones with the shield. Even if it's an on-site opportunity, but on-site can't work for you, you physically can't get there, you should be contacting, especially ones that have a Brown connection, the organization and offer some kind of remote virtual opportunity. Be specific about what you think you could work on. If you need help coming up with your pitch for what you would offer and how you would word it, please reach out to us and we can help you before you contact the organization if you're struggling with how to do it, what do I say? For most of you, this is a new thing and you need a little bit of guidance and we're here to help you with that. Part of the advantage, so to speak, of all the virtual remote opportunities is you could literally be doing them anywhere. So think about that and think about where are organizations that kind of represent my interest area a little bit more. Are they in a geography I know I can't be in? Maybe I should start reaching out to them. Okay. If you are able to get one, and many of you will be able to get one, super important to keep a log of your projects, both for supervision during the experience itself, but also for, wait, let's go back there, Chief, but also for at the end of the summer, being able to talk about what you did, representing things on a resume, talking about things in a job interview, okay? All of that is very important. And as I said, talk to us about how to pitch the possibility of remote if you're struggling with that. So networking, more people are home, more people are have less to do because a lot of work from home just involves less work. Not for everyone. There's a short-term benefit in terms of potentially finding something for this summer 2020, making yourself connected to people who can refer you to things for this summer. But also there's a long-term benefit in this is the beginning of or the enhancement of your career development, of your career education, of increasing your own personal network of people who are going to be helpful to you with information, mentorship, suggestions over the next few years. So one thing in terms of an ongoing career development project or task that you could take advantage of during this time is aggressively try to participate in networking. You should always be doing it during a time like this with sensitivity. The people you'll be networking with, they themselves might be struggling a little bit with what's going on in the world. And just you should acknowledge that at the beginning of phone calls, at the beginning of Skype or Zoom calls, when you email people, acknowledge this must be a difficult time for them. It's just a human, normal thing to do, and people should be doing that. I do want to very quickly, and by the way, I can't see all of you. I can see a few of you. Feel free to roll your eyes the more I talk about networking. I'm used to it, but I just want to, I want to show LinkedIn just very quickly, because I know people mostly know about Brown Connect. When you go to the LinkedIn is the gold standard for networking. LinkedIn is slightly better than Brown Connect right now, right this second, because the profiles of the alumni are more up to date. So you go to the Brown University page on LinkedIn and you click alumni, and you're able to sort through 85,000 people, literally all over the world, by where they live, and you can type anything in here, where they work. Where they work is, I think, a little less helpful, because that presupposes you know the names of the organizations you want to connect with, talk to people from. When you're an undergraduate college student, you have not heard of 98% of the places that would be good. And so if you know a few, that's fine, but don't get bogged down with contacting people who work at the most common, visible, highly prolific places. By industry, I forgot a word there, by what people studied, and skill. And then based on all the criteria, people show up in rows of 4. And so if you wanted to speak to him because you're interested in consulting, you would simply send a connection request with a message. So before just sending it, you would type in a Brown Connect-like message indicating your interest in what he's working on, and you want to just ask him a few questions about it. It's as simple as that. Okay? That was a very quick explanation of LinkedIn. A lot of students find it helpful to run through this with a PCA because they've never done it before. They find it a little intimidating. If you don't find it intimidating, awesome, jump right in. If you do think you want to play it out a little bit with a fellow student, because that would be a little more supportive and give you a little bit more information, I highly recommend that. Okay? And that's getting help doing this if it's new or scary for you. Okay. Finding opportunities in a down job market requires people to go back to their past if possible. If possible, meaning you've had a few part-time jobs or internships, or you've even interviewed. Sometimes you interview for an internship or a summer job when you're a college student or even an older high school student, and you have a really good interaction with the place, but you never ended up working there. With all of these kinds of places, check in with them, because they already know you, about possible, especially remote work, but not only remote work. So checking in with previous employers, positive interview situations you've had in the past is a very smart thing to do. Remember, right now, right this second, April 21st, there's going to be a fair amount of uncertainty, but you could start a dialogue that might be beneficial in a month, in 6 weeks, as things start to ease up in the job market. Ellen, do we have any questions?
No questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Should you just be randomly applying for things that you find online? Absolutely. The answer to that is yes. Like every job search or internships that we talk about, we typically at Career Lab talk about 70-20-10, 70% networking, 20% just applying, 10% cold calling. I don't know about 20%. That seems a little high to me right now. But if you see postings that interest you, especially postings, check the date posted, especially things that are being posted in April, in May, in June, maybe late March. Those will tend to be the more reliable needs. Okay? And again, if you ever see an online posting that you trust and it's for an on-site show up at the office thing, and you want to post, you want to suggest remote, always feel free to do that. There's no harm in doing that. It could just start a dialogue that might work out. This year, we are seeing that it is working out when students do that. Okay. If you've ever come to one of my internship programs, I talk a lot about how these internships in general, always, every year, are overrated. And what I mean by that is students feel, for some reason, because they're trying to, I think, keep up with each other, that finding these super impressive internships are critically important to being successful in life. And I'm sorry, I have bad news for you if you think that, but that's not true. So internships can be, oh, good, yes, about this topic?
No.
About baking banana bread?
No.
Okay. What's it about?
It's about link. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility of the link deadline being extended, considering new internships may pop up after April?
So there is, so the second deadline is definitely on April 29th. Beyond that, there is some chatter, nothing definitive at all, about other funding that may happen. It also may not happen, so students should not be planning for it. The second deadline of April 29th will not be moved. It's possible there'll be more funding after that, but we just simply don't know that yet. There should be an email coming out from the dean and or Career Lab about this topic by the end of this week, early next week, that will clear all of that up. That's what we know. That's what I know right this second.
Okay, that's the only question we have.
Thank you. Back to baking banana bread. So if you're able to find a super impressive, easy to talk about, very weighty, substantial internship this summer, good for you. If you are not able to, because the market for jobs and internships is way down and there's way more uncertainty, and you had something canceled or you just never able to find one, and this summer you write that screenplay you always wanted to write, or you do improve your ability to bake banana bread. When we're back on campus, by the way, I would like to be tasting those banana breads. Or you just volunteer a few hours here or there at a local organization. Maybe you take an online class or a workshop. By the way, one way to think about online classes and workshops is to look at full-time jobs, entry-level full-time jobs that kind of interest you, and look to see what skills are listed that you know you don't have. In this summer, are there any online things you can do to pick up a skill or two? Okay, all of those things count. And even for those of you who end up literally doing nothing, no online classes and no banana bread and no internship, you're still going to be successful in life. You really don't have to worry about what are the ramifications about your long-term professional success in life if you're not able to secure a great internship this summer. Okay? I think many of you still will probably find something, but if you're not, you're still going to be fine. Trust me. By the way, I say that every year, and every year I'm right about that. This year, you have a built-in, there are going to be millions of college students who do very little this summer. Okay. So in conclusion, seek out remote opportunities even when they're not being posted. Networking is super key now. I'm just going to add in there, networking for most students is a new scary thing, and please get help with that, mostly from the PCAs. Student-to-student help about networking can be very helpful. Apply for some stuff that you see, especially on Brown Connect, the Bruno things. Take
Ron,
advantage. Yes,
could you show us the Bruno, like the shield on Brown Connect?
I'd be happy to. Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Good job interrupting. Ellen, have you been working with Kelsey on the interrupting?
No, I haven't. But as you maybe pull up the Bruno internships, I have another question for you.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Or it can wait, maybe.
I can multitask.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So this is a little bit of a longer question. So recently, a lot of international students who have had internship offers for a while are being told that they can't work remotely if they are outside the US. Does the Career Lab know anything about this? And does the Career Lab know about any opportunities that people could do if they are unable to return to the country?
At the company that in general?
I think
So
in
in
general.
general, remote opportunities, I think we've been talking about that. Um,
Yeah,
what we've been
they
hearing,
clarified just anywhere.
just anywhere?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would encourage that student to maybe make an individual appointment with one of us to really go over the specifics of his or her situation. And the best way to do that is through handshake, although if the time zone different thing is not allowing you to see appointments you can do in handshake, email me directly and we'll come up with a time that works for you. And we'll talk through your situation. By the way, that's true for all of you. So Kelsey, thank you for actually, because I wanted to highlight both the post date. So this is Bruno. Bruno has the shield. And Bruno means that it's being posted by an alum or a parent or for someone who for some reason loves Brown and is going to give an advantage to a Brown student. As I said a few minutes ago, pay attention to post date. So some of the things in here, like here's a Bruno opportunity that was posted in November of 2019. It's possible that this is still a thing, but I'm trusting this much less. If this was my area of interest, I would definitely reach out. However, as I go forward over the next few weeks and months, I'm paying attention to the things that are more recent, okay? You can sort by post date to make it easier for you to do that. And you can notice when you do that, there are no, this is in marketing though. While I'm here, one of the ways that,
Hey, Ron, have a question.
yeah,
Okay.
fire away.
Yep. I have been doing, I have been following online classes on LinkedIn Learning and was planning on doing that throughout the summer. But I was wondering if you know if exceptionally brown students will have access to LinkedIn Learning for free beyond May 24th because they are a graduating senior.
I don't know Kelsey, do you know the answer to that? I don't know the answer to that either, but I will definitely find out because I'm interested in that. So if that student could shoot me an email asking me to get that answer, I will be happy to.
Okay, she said she will, or they said they will.
Okay. I just wanted to point out and remind students that when you're networking through Brown Connect is an opt-out system, meaning all alumni of Brown who ever went to Brown have been dumped in, but they have the individual ability, if they choose to opt out. So people that you find here have not volunteered to be in here, to be contacted. However, if you're searching and you can see all the different ways that you can sort, if you participate in something and you want to find alumni of similar activities that you do, or if you're an athlete, if you look on networking topics and you choose young alumni mentoring, young alumni mentoring are people who have volunteered. They have specifically said, I would be happy to talk to people, and so if I want to talk to the marketing director, Patrick has volunteered, and young alumni mentoring, the chances of him responding to your email outreach is more likely. You should be reaching out to everybody.
We have a question.
Yes.
Okay. This is a CPT question, so I don't know. Also, Kelsey.
Yep.
All right. If I apply for something that is not related to my concentration, would that be a problem for us to get a CPT?
Yes. So your CPT must be related to your concentration or your academic learning goals. I would say if you have questions about if it applies to your specific concentration, to either email myself, and I can put my email in the chat, or to email Dean Paloma, because if you're in the non-professional track, what we do is we have to develop your independent study based on your concentration and your learning goals. But to get CPT, yes, it has to be related to your concentration.
Okay. So I want to wrap up in 1 minute, but I did want to show you, because Kelsey thinks it's a good idea, and I want to respect Kelsey's ideas. We have a resource at Career Lab called Going Global. Going Global makes it easy to sort and search by, hello.
We've got another question.
Huh. Why is this not just...
You have to log in through your Brown, stuff.
Okay. So here?
Yeah.
Okay. So students can do that on their own, but you can tell by Going Global, you'll be able to search for internships by country and post date once you log in with your Brown email and password. What's the question, Ellen?
We have two. So if you are working for Brown during the summer, like for the Nelson Center, for example, do you need a CPT?
Kelsey?
No. So CPT is for off-campus opportunities. So if you're working on campus, you should be set, but I would email Kelsey Dennis over at OISSS just to be 100% sure about that.
And the other question is, if you are a rising sophomore, is it worth it at all to submit your resume to opportunities that are asking for rising juniors?
Yes, because if that is an organization, or it represents an area of interest, it's not likely that you would get that opportunity if they're going to the trouble of expressing that they would prefer older students. However, the benefit of doing it is it could start a dialogue. It could be impressive, and you could apply again when you're an older student. And the fact that you applied earlier could be helpful. So it's not likely you would get it, although it is possible. But the reason you would do it is to show how interested you are, and to possibly start a dialogue with an organization that interests you for the future.
We have another question. Would there be on-campus opportunities this summer? Mostly that will pay, I think, is the question.
I think we don't know the answer to that. My guess is there will not be a lot of on-campus anything. We're not on campus, and we don't expect to be on campus through the month of May. And so after that, we don't really know what's going on. If I had to guess, I would say there's going to be very little on-campus employment over the summer. But it is literally too early to know that 100% for sure.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a question also.
Yes?
So what if like there are research opportunities with professors, but those opportunities are paid? Do we need to use CPT for that?
That would be a question for Kelsey Dennis. My gut tells me no, because it would be an on-campus employment. But I would say ask Kelsey Dennis. I'll put her email in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
No questions right
All
now.
right, so again, thank you all for joining us. I'm Ron Foreman. Kelsey Trim was here as well. Good job, Kelsey. Good job, Ellen. Just be in touch with all of us. Ask as many questions as you need to be asking as you go through this process. Counselors are available through Career Lab Handshake and or just emailing Career Lab if the handshake times don't work for you. And PCAs are available as well. PCAs are available literally 24/7. Right, Ellen?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So that's the program for now. Take care, everybody. Bye.